there. Welcome to the show where ex-evangelicals watch and talk about movies.
The ones we weren't allowed to watch as kids because, Satan and stuff.
I'm Donovan.
And I'm Zach. And Jesus stole our movies.
So let's get this little ring that some dude just showed up to our door with and put it on our finger and disappear and go see this movie.
That's not a heist movie.
I ran out of heist movies like 2 episodes ago.
Oh, man. Don't take the ring from strange men. Just don't do it.
He's stealing the ring from Sauron. So it's Soren? I don't know.
Sauron. So.
I'm really trying. I'm out of my depth.
Well, hold on. 2 seconds.
No, don't do it.
Would you like,
He's pulling out the Bible. Because
I've got an Encyclopedia of Tolkien.
Just as many names as the Bible. That's why I can't read it.
I got an 8-volume set of...
Oh my god.
We can go, sir.
Okay, put the receipts away, sir.
What's going on, Donovan?
Not much, sir. I think we're going to talk about an awesome movie today, but before we do that, we have a guest with us today. We have Hannah, Hotdog, Montana. How are you today?
Hello, friends. I am doing wonderful. I am so excited to watch this movie with you.
Well, we let you pick the movie today, so why don't you tell us what movie we're watching?
We are watching, and you said awesome. That is a word. It is. We're watching Jason Goes to Hell. And if you grew up in church, you know that anything that has to do with hell is obviously the worst, which somehow made it the coolest to me.
Oh, yeah.
And we, as homeschoolers, I think that there was something about this particular movie at the video store. I saw the poster, and I was like, it looks so evil. And it made my mom mad or the snake in particular, she doesn't like snakes. And so every time we would go to the movie store, I'd be like, hey, Mom, look at this cool movie. And I would be like looking at the poster, and it's such an ingrained early memory of something I could not have. And it just even looking at it got me in trouble.
That's so amazing. And that probably just made you want to watch it more and more anyway.
Imagine the absolute disappointment. Years building this shit up. Like, I'm going to see this thing. And then it's this,
See, I try to find a positive and everything. And the whole time I was watching it again, I was just like, this is fun. They're having fun. We're all having fun.
That's how I felt
I
about
Dusty Slay.
What was it?
The Dusty Slay. I think it's Dusty Slays is a comedian. He always says we're having a good time. That is what's happening.
Absolutely.
And he's telling you because he's not going to leave it for you to question. It's a good time. We're having a good time.
And conventional wisdom, though, would dictate that if you need to be told you're having a good time, you are, in fact, not having a good time. I felt the same way about 13 Ghosts when we watched it for last time's episode. I wanted to watch that movie so freaking bad. I saw the trailer in the video store so many times, and my mom will never in a million years let me watch 13 Ghosts. We watched it for the podcast. I'm just like, oh... Okay.
That was it?
I think the best thing came out of that was the name Luby Shaluby, which I think was very
that was our nickname for Tony Shalhoub after that wonderful flick.
Luby.
And I will never watch Monk different now.
And his mountain string band Luby Shaluby and the Slippery Boys.
Yeah, right. Like the Soggy Bottom Boys from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. They're their opening act.
Are they bluegrass, I'm assuming?
Well,
if somebody's blowing on a jug, it's going to happen.
If you're new here, if you haven't listened to us before, the main thing we do is we watch movies that we weren't allowed to watch as kids because of the church and things like that. And we revisit them, we poke fun at them, and we talk about why we weren't allowed to watch them with the church. As with 13 Ghosts, this one's a little more obvious why, but we still it still hits home with why, you know what I mean, with the theme of what we're doing here. Because, like you said, Hannah, the whole, goes to hell thing doesn't really sit well with our Christian parents. Did you see
They
this
did
movie
not
before,
like
Zach?
that term.
No,
Well, they
not
didn't
at
like
all.
any Jason things. I remember thinking all Voorhees looked cool because I
Hmm.
mean, how badass is a hockey mask?
Yeah.
But but there was something about that poster in particular. Maybe it was just the ghost to hell. Maybe it was just a snake because my mother thinks anything a snake is the devil. Like it was just it was that I had built it up. It was going to be this cinematic, epic piece
Hell
of
yeah.
debauchery, and you've seen it. It's
Mm.
it's a
Well,
movie.
and it's semi-tame for being a slasher film, even though it's not really a slasher, but we'll talk about that. But like, it's kind of tame for what genre it exists, sort of.
Hmm.
It's so right. That's the thing is like horror is my go to if I am in a funk. It's like I want to watch something being dismembered.
Absolutely.
That is my comfort. And bad horror has always been top tier. Like
Hmm.
I love bad movies, and I know that they're not good, so I'm not making any like I have a Twilight tattoo. I know it's shit. It's just that it's fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're having a good time.
Having a good time, absolutely.
I just wanted to ask you really quick, was that the first Friday the 13th you saw when you finally saw this? So
It
you were
was.
like, so you were hyped up. You're like, I'm going to see Jason finally. And he's not even in this movie,
Oh,
really.
And I was
man.
thinking, like, since it was like layered, like it was so many, how many, 10 or whatever, I was like, dude, he is probably so jacked from killing people. He is going to be so epic. The kills are going to be so clean. The body count's going to be out of this world. No,
Nope.
no.
Have you seen this before we watched it today, Zach?
No, this is actually my only the third Friday the 13th I've ever actually seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first one I watched was the Jared Padalecki, like the remake from like 2014 or
Yeah.
I
13.
love that one.
I absolutely love that because it's got your boy Dean in it, of course.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Well, Dean, God damn it,
Oh,
from
Sam.
Gossip Girls. He's Dean
Yeah,
in
nice,
Gossip Girls.
nice
I
save.
wasn't
Gilmore
going to
Girls.
correct you, but I knew you were going to get roasted.
It's Gilmore Girls. He's Dean. That always gets confusing because he's Sam in Supernatural, but he's Dean in fucking Gilmore
See,
Girls.
I thought you said your boy Dare. I didn't know you said Dean. I was like, your boy Dare.
Your boy Sam is in it, and then the other one is, of course, Jason X, because anything with space. And if you give me a cyborg Jason, that's what I want to see. I want to see. I need a figure of Uber Jason. They've never released a figure of Uber Jason yet. He looks so cool with that whole like the mask that wraps around his face, and he has like a robot arm. Just fucking give me that shit.
It's like a mix between like Bane and like Winter Soldier, and he's so cool looking. And then that the frozen space, like when everything shatters.
Yeah.
That's a death scene. Actually, that was the one it's probably one of my favorites, and I was going to pick that one, but I really the evilness around Goes to Hell I felt was really important, and it's just it's so bad it's fun.
Absolutely.
You were talking about bad horror films, and like my sort of comfort area is like bad late 90s, early 2000s, like low budget science fiction and fantasy television. And Jason X just reeks of like Hercules, the Legendary Journeys, Andromeda, Xena. Like it definitely. Well, one of the actresses from Jason X is actually in Andromeda, which is the other like Gene Roddenberry series that fucking Kevin Sorbo has to ruin everything, and we can't have anything nice. Because I totally even forgot Kevin Sorbo was in Andromeda, and I was like, I used to love this show when I was younger, and I clicked on it. He's the captain of the whole ship, and I'm like, you motherfucker,
you ruined it.
He just ruined it.
Disappointed.
Soiled our friendship garden.
Jason X just, to me, like reeks of like what's that fucking show? I can't remember the name of it. Well, it's like Sliders and like
Oh, dude,
all
Sliders.
those like late '90s, early 2000s like space shows.
You got to stop name dropping all these awesome shows. We're just going to keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Sliders. Now we need to talk about the O'Connell brothers for an hour.
Yeah, I never. Quinn Mallory is still out there somewhere, hopping from world to world. You never know.
Hey man, but
He,
then they went home and they checked the gate and it didn't squeak and they were like, "We're not here." And then the dad came out after they left and he was like, "Glad I fixed that gate." And it was
yep.
like, "No."
No. Uh,
Sorry, that really left a mark on my heart when I was like 8.
so what about you, Donovan? I know that you had a lot of time to yourself when you were younger. So like,
Yeah.
was this something that you had seen? Like, what is your familiarity with the Friday the 13th franchise?
This was another one I saw at my friend's house, my friend Mikey. I remember going over there and his dad had a bunch of old like horror movies and newer ones on VHS and he put this one in because I was just like, "It's Jason. I've never seen a Jason. Jason's cool." So we watched it and I was like, "Where's Jason?
Right.
This isn't a Jason movie." I kept looking at him like, "You lied." But this was the first one I ever seen and I dug it. I watched a lot of like NYPD Blue and that kind of shit with my grandparents and my mom when I was a kid, and for some reason this was similar to like that to me. Like this had a lot
Okay.
of that same like vibe, like all the police station stuff, and like it really
Mhm.
caught my attention that way. I wasn't scared of this or anything when I was a kid. I remember that. So, but
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing with it. My parents didn't know I ever watched it, so I was good. But I was definitely like 8 or 9 when I saw this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it stuck that started this act. Oh, you know what? This probably is the movie that started me like sneaking other horror movies because like this was like, oh, this is
This
cool.
was
So
your
then
gateway drug?
I think so because then I started watching like all the Halloweens. I snuck all of those, and that became my favorite franchise. It still is. But yeah, I think this might have been my entrance to hell, you guys.
Were you just desperately trying to find a good movie to watch and not and try to erase this dreck from your mind?
That I just was looking to be scared, man. I like being scared. I thought it was fun.
Because this movie isn't scary.
I know,
There's
right? So
no
I was like, give me
atmosphere. There's
something
no.
else. I remember watching this and Child's Play around the same time. So yeah, but that's my experience with it. I don't really have any Christian background stuff with this one because I snuck it. I was smart about it.
Um, what about on the sites? Did you notice any Christian talk about Friday the 13th? I know
Ah,
in our church, it was a big, big deal that like if you watched horror movies, you were letting like Satan in your spirit,
yeah.
and like you were
You're giving
literally
him a
like,
foothold.
yeah. Uh,
Yes. Oh God.
I remember the youth pastor at our church would he's actually a decent human still. Like I kind of he's actually
Hmm.
like a good human and not like a gross church person at this point. But he is still in the church, but still, he's like halfway decent as a person.
I got you.
Still,
There's
and
still good people that could be in the church. I feel you.
Yeah.
he had this story that he was obsessed with slashers, and he's at that perfect like Gen X age to like be deep into the big three and Chucky and all that shit. And so
Yeah.
he would tell this story where he had watched so many slasher movies that he was afraid that Freddy's glove was just going to come out of his basement steps and kill him.
Oh hell
And
yeah.
like
Let's tell
he
that to
ended up
kids.
tripping down the basement steps, and he blamed it on like being so scared of horror movies, and like he hurt himself, and so he
Whoa.
never watched horror movies again. He's like, because a spirit of fear, and not we were not created with a spirit of fear, but power and love and a sound mind. And I wish people would accentuate the second one a little more
Oh,
when they say those things, because the first one's getting a little too much play nowadays.
Well
I
yeah.
said.
really like that verse, but they're heavy on the power bit and not heavy on the love bit.
Or sound mind.
Or sound
Mm.
mind. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, right. Well, surprisingly, I did find some stuff about this on one Christian movie site.
The hell you
Uh,
say?
yep, movieguide.org, the one site that had the one about Ferngully giving it like a -10.
Oh my God. Ferngully was one of the ones that I was going to pick. I was like,
I
that
know,
I
I
do
remember.
remember. The church really hated that.
I can the biggest problem that the one website had with Ferngully was that it was too basically like enlightening and empowering, and they didn't like that at all.
And
And because
anything
of
about
Krista's clothes.
well, yeah, sure.
Let's see. On this one, let's see. On movieguide.org, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This one received a -4 for intentional blasphemy, evil, gross immorality, and or worldview problems. Those
Oh,
are
it's
always
my
my
life.
favorite.
Weren't weren't one of the ones on Ferngully just cockroaches? Like
Yeah,
one of the
cockroaches.
scores against Ferngully is just cockroaches.
Yep.
You can't have that. No, cockroaches are the devil. That makes no sense. Like
Is that why
I
they hate
like.
New York?
uh,
The last thing it says on here is the content to look out for in this movie, heavily seasoned with over 100 obscenities and profanities, substance abuse, nudity, graphic sexual scenes, many graphic scenes of violence, and occultism.
not occultism, not completely fabricated out of nowhere, not relevant to the story occultism that has never existed in the franchise before now. We can't even make up our own occultism. We have to take somebody else's occultism. That's fine. It doesn't even, it's not even spooky occult. There's no symbology. There's no runes and sacred texts or anything. You kind of see the Necronomicon for a second, which is just, oh, here, take this magic sword trademark and poke the guy with it. You know, like, that's,
What came first, this or Halloween 6? Because which one, isn't that the one where they introduced the Thorn cult? And then that like, if that came first before this, I wonder if they were just like, look, we got to copy Halloween again. Because
Oh, I don't know.
that's what they
That's a good
do.
question. No, for real.
Well, that's all I got on the Christian aspect of it. Are you ready to get into this film?
I would like to just mention how nice of a broad net saying worldview problems is. Like, you can fit a lot underneath worldview problems there, but like, what is worldview problems? Lady has a baby out of wedlock is probably worldview problems.
Maybe, yeah, I
And
wouldn't be
it's all her
surprised.
fault, of course, right? According to the church.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
we're wearing glasses. Do we have worldview problems? Is this
Heyo.
so many layers?
And what are your standards? Like, why is nothing regulated? Nothing's ever fucking regulated. We need to have standardization so we can understand what's going on. What is the scoring system? How is Fern Gully -10
Good
and
point.
Jason Goes to Hell negative? Actually, it's probably because Fern Gully implies that people can self-actualize
Yeah,
and
exactly.
not be the minions of an angry, abusive asshole.
There was like a
Yeah,
whole
no.
paragraph about the seeds and how the seed helped, like you could put the seed inside you and be the seed yourself. It was like, this is disgusting.
Well, I think anything the church they hate most is the us finding self-realization or any sort of reality outside of their Bible base. And
Absolutely.
that's a bigger threat to them than a slasher. That's us giving a shit about the planet is way scarier to a Christian than Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, right. Let that Tim Curry monster do his thing.
And collectivism, you cannot have collectivism. Like, you need to be isolated so you can
Be broken down and
be,
pushed into our cult.
be broken down and have to look for something. You cannot find community. You cannot
Yeah.
find empowerment in togetherness. You have to find empowerment from Magic Sky Daddy. Because you're filthy rags. Don't forget, kids, you're filthy fucking rags, and you don't deserve anything. But God loves you.
I
Despite
feel like
the fact that you're a piece of trash.
is this a Sunday school again?
Yeah.
What song are we gonna sing now? Jesus.
I'm
Father
in the Lord's
Abraham.
army. Like, that's a great one.
Yeah.
How did we get here? How did we get here? We're singing "I'm in the Lord's army" in fucking Sunday school, telling kids they want to shoot the artillery. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've said a lot about that song before. I'll leave it be.
So, instead of talking about depressing ass real world shit, let's talk about fun murder.
Murder!
Now down. Fun fake murder, not real.
Not real murder.
systemic.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Hot take.
I know, right?
Horror has many faces. Death wears many different masks. But pure evil wears only one. And this is your final chance to see it. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Donovan, do you have production, or Hannah? Do you know stuff about production about this movie? Because I was not able to look up anything about production, really,
There
other than
isn't a whole lot about Friday the 13th because of copyright infringement that happened.
Mhm.
Everything was locked down. Like the character of Voorhees himself, like he wasn't allowed in games for a long time, and it had something to do with that. So a lot of anything about the films or the stories or the making of the films is kind of unknown.
Yeah.
Which is kind of I like to say it's like the Bible. It's up to your interpretation.
Hell yeah. You can pick and choose which ones are canon. You don't have to worry about this one.
And
the world is your burrito. It's you choose.
I think to this day, Sean S. Cunningham is still fighting with somebody about the rights to Friday the 13th and because this one, Jason X and Freddy versus Jason were not allowed to have Friday the 13th in them, like you were saying. And I think the one before it, what was the last one? The final chapter?
The final chapter, yeah.
That one was Friday the 13th. Okay, so they weren't allowed for these three movies to say Friday the 13th because of something, but he is still the executive producer. Hollywood is weird, rights are weird. It's all just fucking weird.
That's my understanding is everything is weird, but there isn't a whole lot of knowledge about any of the making on the movies.
Sure. The director of this movie was only 23 years old.
Yeah, I saw that.
He directed this movie. That's the only thing I really know about it. Yeah,
little tiny baby. Go you.
How do you give a 23-year-old the reins for this very successful franchise? I have no idea.
Hey,
probably because nobody cared about it in 91 or 92. When did
True that.
93.
For a first-time 23-year-old director, he had some pretty good shots in this movie. And putting it in that lens, like put it through that context, and like I said, hey, I try to find the positive.
Which this one does require some searching.
I brought a flashlight.
So, I will take you now to our film, Jason Goes to Hell, or, as I have titled it, Jason doesn't actually visit hell in this movie, and I feel robbed. I'm not sure what I expected. Maybe a machete fight with Asmodeus or something. Either way, boo. A script. Yeah. We open on a car traveling through sunset New Jersey backwoods, accompanied by ominous music. When a meatbag gets out of the car and enters a totally not scary at all cabin, both she and I get jump scared by a bad light bulb burning out.
I got you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, because I thought she was going to get got in the first 10 seconds. Whoa.
Now we got to build to it, buddy.
I guess. Light bulb fake out. Tension builds. Fake out scares fake us out. And a movie hair toss and some gratuitous nudity later. The lights cut out yet again. Rooting strings accompany the lady's shadow-clogged track through the totally not scary at all cabin. When your boy Big J jumps out and machete chops her.
Well, he tries. He tries.
Yeah.
He tries.
Barely escaping the lumbering but somehow inescapable killer, the lady runs out into the night in nothing more than a towel, away from the zombie, killer, revenant, serial killer monster guy thing that we've never really established what Jason is. And did anybody else notice how grunty Jason was in this part of the movie?
Hell yeah, man. He was so vocal. He was making like Mr. Bean noises. He's like,
And since I'm not familiar with the franchise, is that like a normal thing? I thought he was just like a silent, or is that Michael?
There's breathy, like sometimes, but never that. It's like audible weird, like somebody left a microphone when someone went into a bathroom after like
Right.
some real late night binge drinking in Taco Bell. Like it's uncomfortable. And it's not, I don't, maybe it's just because there's a lot lacking in this movie. You just notice that more, but I don't notice that in other Jason movies.
Well, it's almost like they pumped up the audio on it. Like that part where he's like chasing her, he like almost falls and he audibly goes like, "Oh!" Like he's like, "Oh!"
We used to make a joke that they should have just put the Wilhelm scream there because it was just so bad.
There
That would've been
are
awesome.
there are a couple stock sound effects in here. I know that Pottery Break trademark sound effect is in here at least
Pottery
twice.
Break is one of my favorites.
I think Squeaky Door trademark is in here as well. But
As
I
it
don't
should
remember
be.
what it was. I think I missed Pottery Break sound effect
Oh,
in the script.
if we're gonna talk about sound effects, can we talk about how the sound, like the score for this movie, is literally just a pitched up and pitched down sound tube? It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
it's
boop.
so annoying. Well, Harry Manfredini's name is in the credits that last 70 years.
That's so
And he did
wild.
a bunch of the music for the other Friday the 13th movies. I'm like, what was going on here, though? Because, like, the Friday the 13th score is an iconic score,
Mhm.
right? It's one of those things that, like, is a cultural touchstone. Even if you've never seen any of these movies, you know those sounds. You know,
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And, but, like, what's going on here? What are you doing, bud? Was this like, hey, Harry, we need you to do a thing for the thing? And he's like, ma, ma, ma. Okay, I'm going to go get a sandwich. Like, what's happening? I don't
He
know.
got a synthesizer for Christmas, and he's like, "I'm gonna put this bad boy to work."
If Carpenter could do it, I could do it.
God
God damn
right.
it.
Can you imagine if Carpenter did do the score for this? Oh man. That's pretty spot on.
The chase continues until a SWAT team ambushes Jason, blowing him all to hell with guns, bombs, grenade, and Power Rangers-ass sparkler explosions. The lady, it turns out, is an FBI agent, just playing a meatbag, and it was all a ruse. Now's the part where Jason totally wakes up in hell and gets a mission from one of the 7 Lords of Hell to kill Satan with a magical machete, right? You guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point, I feel so lied to. Like, the thing, it says Jason goes to hell. Why are we going to hell? He needs to go to hell. But of course not. Instead of some epic blood-drenched rampage through infernal catacombs, we get an autopsy from weirdo pathologist trope man because we can't have a normal coroner in media. It's just not a
That would
thing.
be.
He was one sub sandwich short of being a terrible, terrible trope.
I read that Tony Todd auditioned for that part and didn't get it, which is
That would have been so
weird
cool.
because my memory from when I was a kid was that this was Tony Todd. And then so when it wasn't, I was surprised, but I think I was mixing this and his role in Final Destination up because he plays the morgue dude in Final Destination.
Yes.
So that's what
Death.
I probably did. Yeah, death.
And how
He's
cool would have
great.
that have been? I think, like, this would have been made so.
Can
if
you imagine Tony Todd
would
eating
have been
that
there,
heart?
this would have been so many different intersections. You had Candyman versus Jason versus Freddy versus Ash, all this like versus the Thing, because there was all this stuff in there.
Right.
Oh my god!
When he's possessed by Jason, he can say "Be my victim," and it'd be
Oh my god!
full circle.
Why does Jason talk when he possesses people? Like, he has full conversations. Is this a thing? He's like, oh, thank God I have a mouth
he
now.
did.
I haven't had a mouth for like 40 years. He's like, put down the baby, Jessica. Or whatever he says to her. Like, let me drop my worm in that mouth. And you're just like, oh, no. Oh, God.
Don't say that again.
Let me drop my worm in that mouth. The pathologist notes Jason's decomposition and the black sludge oozing from his decrepit, gnarled heart. The heart begins to beat, some foul compulsion overtaking the pathologist as he takes a big old honkin' chomp out of that heart and promptly gets possessed by Jason or Pumbaa with laryngitis. Either or, I couldn't tell.
There's definitely some freaking primeval roars going on there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I said Pumbaa with laryngitis. I have no idea what that joke was supposed to be.
It fits, I guess.
He takes a bite out of the heart and says, "When I was a young warthog."
I think that I love how he definitely mentioned that it had the black oozy grossness, and then he's like, "Now we're gonna take a bite."
Well, he had to. He was magically compelled by all this magic that has never been in this movie before. Jason was reanimated by a lightning strike when Tommy Jarvis stuck him with a piece of rebar or like shovel handle or something in one of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, right?
There's so many things that can be said here.
Where's the cultism? Like, I don't know.
Isn't this is technically the third Friday the 13th where Jason's not in it, right? Because you got the first one with his mom, then you got the one with the kid that went crazy at the one place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now this one.
His weird dad was the killer.
Yeah, his dad was the killer because his son got hurt. Yeah, because his son got killed or something.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I don't remember. I don't know. I haven't seen these movies.
It was like a kid's hospital, and then one of the kids gets killed by accident, and then the ambulance driver is the dad, and he goes crazy and dresses up as Jason. I don't remember.
They were really trying for some ideas.
The point is, he wasn't in 3 of them.
That is it. That is true.
I guess my question is this. If we have this franchise that makes all this money, right? Like, we can be forgiven for not understanding how big the first one was going to be, right? Very small independent production, a bunch of people just trying to make something cool. By movie 3, you're going to want to establish moving forward, we're making some very much money out of this. We need to make it make sense going forward. Instead, we're just going to throw everything at why was this a thing that we did not realize should have happened until like the mid 2000s? You know what I mean? This is just kind of a running franchise, just doesn't have any internal consistency. Like, what are you guys thinking? It's the 80s. Like, we've had book series that have had several entries in these book series that all have internally consistent lore. Why can't you do this in a film? Is it just because it's a horror movie and they're just trying to cash in? I just don't understand it. And movies are way easier to write than fucking books. You don't have to like cover 75 characters you're never going to see again. You don't need to find out what Gandalf had for breakfast on the 4th day of the Second Age when he hadn't been a wizard yet or whatever fucking shit. No, you just like, okay, this guy is a X, Y, and Z. Not, oh, his mom killed the guy, but he's the other guy that was there, but he was in the woods for 30 years. But now he's like, because at some point Jason should be like 70 years
something,
old.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's born in the 40s.
Mm-hmm. Because I think this movie happens the time period it's supposed to be like 2001.
Yeah.
Because this is like 10 years in the future from the Tommy Jarvis stuff.
Oh, you want to hear some other stuff that I learned?
Fucking no.
I listened to a podcast last night called Halloween Unmasked, and they had this psychiatrist on there, and she was talking about serial killers and movies and like where they probably got their start and what was wrong with them. She said that she believes that Jason Voorhees is a victim of fetal alcohol syndrome, and that's why he looked like that before he was killed and stuff. And then the reason why his mother like killed all those people that were drinking and stuff was like projection. Interesting. I was like, That's very interesting. So then you put it all in perspective, and that's why Jason hates that stuff because his mom hated it, and yeah, it's just a weird little thing. I thought I'd share.
So what you're
That's
saying is you found a podcast whose entire premise is violating the Goldwater rule?
I don't even know what that is, homie.
You're not supposed to diagnose. I guess if you are a psychologist, you can, but you're not supposed to say what people's supposed pathologies are.
Well, it's just a fake person, though, right?
Yes, yeah. You ruined my fucking joke, dude. You didn't even know what I was talking about. Meanwhile, we are 2 minutes into this movie.
That's my fault. I will
No,
refrain.
this is so much fun. I always have so much fun just talking shit.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
Another coroner comes to look at the body of the monster, who I personally feel would have been better played by Ted Raimi, because this guy was definitely like a Ted Raimi sort of vibe, and it would have been so much more fun if you saw the Necronomicon later in the movie and Ted Raimi was one of the coroners.
That would be cool. That guy was the writer of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
So when he says the line, "I want to crap on your mask," that's the writer of this movie.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh And this man says he wants to take a mango-sized crap on the J-Man's mask. And the possessed doctor kills the glasses man. And outside, in the hallway, Kane Hodder is making jokes about Jason being the P word, which is kind of funny if you know that that's Kane Hodder, but if you don't, who cares? Like, okay, it's just an angry security guard. He's kind of a dick. Isn't there another Friday the 13th movie where Jason kills Kane Hodder playing a different character?
I don't know for sure.
I know there's a Friday
that sounds right. I feel like Kane Hodder has been involved in a lot of aspects of Friday the 13th, even if he's not playing Jason.
Mm-hmm.
It's either him getting killed by Jason or Kane Hodder gets killed by Michael Myers.
Oh, that would be.
I think in one of the movies, or Kane Hodder gets killed like as a character by Freddy. There's something no, because Freddy only kills
meta.
kids.
Something just super meta.
It's something meta. We're going to talk about meta because everybody thinks Wes Craven was having a moment in '96 with Scream, and this is years before that, and they're meta out the ass in this movie.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I hear you. I'm sorry. I love Wes Craven, and you just offended me. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I have no problem with Wes Craven. No problem with Wes Craven at all. But like everybody talks about Scream being like the big meta horror,
right? Like the first to do.
But they're doing it here. They're doing it in other movies as well. Doesn't Freddy break the fourth wall?
Yeah,
like as part of his character. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. It's just a bunch of Gen Xers trying to tell us that their shit is better than us. I've had to fucking endure that shit my entire life. It's like, you've never seen this movie? What are you, some kind of fucking pussy? What are you saying? You're not a man? You haven't seen this fucking movie? Like, a bunch of late boomers and Gen Xers adjudicating to the rest of the world that they have the best shit. Okay, bud.
Greatest generation.
We cut to a garbage-ass news report / true crime documentary about the J-Man and the bounty hunter, Creighton Duke, who's been tracking Jason down for years, played by Stephen Williams, who was on an episode of MacGyver, making me believe that both MacGyver and Jason Voorhees exist in the same universe.
Yes.
But that would be awesome.
He was also in Supernatural as Rufus, and I like to believe it's the same character because that would be dope.
And he was also in X-Files as Mulder's contact, Mr. X. So
that's right.
Yeah,
this guy.
X-Files versus Jason versus Freddy versus MacGyver versus
Supernatural
versus Ash.
That guy's got a hockey mask on, Sammy.
You just see Richard Dean Anderson and Jensen Ackles just sitting there eating pie together silently, just like sharing looks. And it's Stargate SG-1 era, like total Silver Fox Richard Dean Anderson too, and it's just like, yeah, that's the man right there.
You love SG-1, man.
I love Richard Dean Anderson.
Okay,
he's my parasocial dad.
We all got one. I feel you. I won't share mine.
Now, and this also led me down. You have a parasocial dad?
Of course I do.
Who's your parasocial dad?
I just said I'm not saying. It's Kevin Smith.
Moving on. This made me go down a weird rabbit hole where I'm thinking, like, if Mulder and Scully exist in the same universe as Jason, and Jason exists in the same universe as MacGyver, now I'm just shipping Dana Scully and Angus MacGyver, and they just have the most intelligent, adorable, attractive babies ever.
Man, this
and they
really
solve all the
sent you
crimes.
down a path.
No, I'm just trying to distract myself from this duty-ass movie that I just know I'm not going to get to see Jason anymore in. And it's all Sean Cunningham's fault. Creighton Duke, the bounty hunter, tells the documentary crew that he's the weirdest man alive, saying some insane line about thinking about Jason makes him think of a little girl in a pink tutu sticking a hot dog through a donut. You all right? Like, are you okay, dude?
That
Who let
was
this
like
man on television?
Like,
When
what
that-
does that even mean?
when that happened, I was like, "Am I watching the unrated version?"
Yeah, like, should we call somebody?
I remember that line like the first time I heard it, and I was like, "Is this how the seculars talk? Like, what does this mean?"
Is this how the seculars talk? You just start saying it when you start hanging out with your secular friends. Anybody got a donut? I got a hot dog. Like, what?
I'm wearing a tutu. Like, what does that mean?
So I did listen to a couple podcasts about this movie because, like, this movie's been discussed a lot, right?
Mhm.
It's one of the biggest horror franchises ever. And they were talking about this was intentionally supposed to be written as a horror comedy. So maybe that
Really?
completely left field non sequitur was supposed to be funny. I'm not sure. There are very specific moments later that are supposed to be funny that are not. But we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. Like,
That-
this is the setup to a joke, but this joke is not funny.
That is kind of the vibe. Like, I get that they were trying to be funny,
Mhm.
but there is a really weird line, I think, in horror comedy, because laughing at something that isn't funny or laughing when you're scared is a
Yeah.
weird vibe, you know? But
Mhm.
there, you can do it. It exists, and it's really good when it's done. This is a perfect
Absolutely.
example of not that.
I didn't know that though, and that makes more sense too for the exchange that's about to happen. I guess they were trying to make the like knowing that was supposed to be a horror comedy, because I was watching this scene coming up and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I should have preferenced that to being like, they're trying to be funny. It's bad.
Keyword trying.
Yeah, I see the effort. It's there. It's still not good.
No.
And you would hope that these guys did their best. You know, that they put some real effort, and they're not just like, oh, it's fucking Friday 13th, who cares? And I'm like, yeah, you tried your best, guys. You're working on it. It just didn't work.
Like,
but
then,
you did
if
it.
you give them that benefit of the doubt, that's their best. That's
Well,
it.
as we know, certain segments of the population do get rewarded for just toiling in mediocrity and just get,
yeah,
celebrated for it, while others have to work their asses off and still get talked shit about. But whatever. Who am I talking to, right? Sometimes all of this existential just garbage and utter dystopian shitfest we live in every fucking day just creeps in, and it sucks.
Hey. You're okay. We're okay. Hey, we're having a good time.
We're having a good time.
Creighton Duke tells us that Jason isn't a person. He's just a demonic entity wearing a series of meat suits. Oh man, that means he's going to get possessed, and he's going to possess people the whole movie. Like, I haven't had exposure to this film. Like, I didn't really know that this is the possession one, and we don't get to see fucking Jason. I want to see Jason. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see him chop people with a machete. The documentarian exposition dumps all over us about Jason making its way back to Crystal Lake. For reasons, because Crystal Lake. Remember Crystal Lake, you guys? Creighton Duke accepts the bounty that the documentarians have put forward. I think it's like, what, $50,000 to kill Jason or something silly like that?
Something stupid like that, yeah.
It's a lot.
When
50,000 sounds right.
when in like lore, he's this unstoppable killer that everybody knows about. Apparently, you could just name drop Jason Voorhees on the afternoon news, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the unstoppable killer of Crystal Lake." And Creighton Duke's just like, "I'll kill him."
Yeah, man.
You sure about that?
He knows some stuff.
And his name is Creighton Duke.
Creighton Duke, and he wears the most stereotype bounty hunter outfit ever. He's got a duster with a mantle and a cowboy hat, and it's just like.
According to IMDb trivia, he put that outfit together himself.
Sure. I thought So there is another character in MacGyver that has that same outfit. It's like the same thing. and I thought it was Stephen Williams, but it was another guy. But like he has the same bounty hunter outfit. It's just the hat has a different hat band, and he doesn't have a tan vest. And like
he stole it. He's changed some stuff on it.
There's some costume closet that like they're like, this is the outfit. This is the costume that you want to wear.
It's the Spirit Halloween, like prepackaged bounty hunter outfit.
Bounty hunter. But it wouldn't be called bounty hunter because they never name it like that. It would be like guy who looks for other guys.
Right.
Comes with hat, duster, mullet wig, and Bowie knife. We cut now to a diner where a very, very angry lady is grifting burger specials where she can use half the burger meat in twice the burger. Where a wild Leslie Jordan appears. And this lady was so angry. And I don't know if her and Leslie Jordan were supposed to be a couple, but like it was really fun and cute to see Leslie Jordan. I was like, oh, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, that was sick. I think they were supposed to be a couple. Because he kept saying, like, I love this woman, and there's that part they start kissing, and the son's like, you guys are making me sick. I was going to share a clip of it, though, and be like, if you don't love your wife like this, then you're a piece of shit.
A waitress waits on a mysterious man in a duster and a cowboy hat. It's Mr. Duke, wearing Spirit Halloween, man looking for other man costume. Looking cool as hell. Very unheroic as he says some very creepy things to the waitress and gets taken out by the sheriff.
Okay, that's the stuff I was talking about. Now that I know this is a horror comedy supposed to be, the stuff that Duke says is more like, oh, that's supposed to be like in your face, ha ha. The way that I was seeing this as a serious movie, I was like, he's being vulgar as shit to these people for no reason. Why would he say that? He's like, blow me. I'm like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah. He says to the sheriff something like, you can blow me right after she does. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this supposed to be a protagonist? Because guess what? This is not how you write a protagonist. Like, this suffers from them trying to reference Hitchcock, I think, and failing miserably. Because we get like a
right. I forgot about that scene in The Birds where they say that.
No, in Psycho, like we set up hold on, okay. I don't know that much about Hitchcock. Janet Leigh in The Birds and
Janet Leigh's in Psycho.
Right, so I was right.
Yeah.
They set up Janet Leigh's character in Psycho to be the final girl, our protagonist, and she just gets taken out. And we have similar two things. And then another protagonist, fuck, this movie sucked. The waitress, her waiting now finished, hints at secrets and mysterious conversations with yet another glasses guy, asking him to meet her later to discuss mysterious things. Later, the glasses guy picks up some hitchhikers and makes meta jokes years before Wes Craven made it cool. He says to them, what are you guys going to do? Go smoke marijuana and have premarital sex?
And get slaughtered?
And get slaughtered. It's like,
That's what you say to people you just pick up in your car.
Yes. No, that doesn't indicate to them, hi, I'm here to slaughter you after you have premarital sex. No, I am friendly hitchhiker pickup man. Because in 1993, apparently you could still pick up hitchhikers and not just be a murderer. And the redhead girl is making eyes at not Ted Raimi here, and I'm like, oh my god, you talk to people who pick you up hitchhiking like that, like okay, I don't know, we need to sit down and have a talk because
Call your parents. Go home.
yeah, maybe. Well, no, fuck that. Do whatever you want with whoever you want to fucking do with it, as long as it's consensual. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It
Well,
was just a little odd to me that this rando picked her up on the side of the road.
Right.
And she was like, let's get down.
There's that throwaway line though where he goes, "Oh, to be young," and I was watching him like, you all look the same age.
Glasses man is like 25.
The director is 23.
Right. He's making the movie like, oh, to be young.
It's like a 29-year-old complaining that their knees hurt. It's like, you have no idea.
You just wait.
You're lying to yourself. You just one day you will wake up and your body will just say, hey, fuck you, buddy. And you're like, oh man, this is what the next 40 years of my life is going to be like.
Wait till you pop your back out because you coughed too hard.
I sneezed really hard. Now I can't feel my left big toe. These hitchhiking meat bags are here to be, well, meat bags. And they, of course, go swimming in Crystal Lake after inviting Glasses Guy to join their dirty, rotten sinners party. Some gratuity
nudity.
Some gratuitous 15% nudity, baby. Some gratuitous nudity and uncomfortably close proximity to other people banging you're only capable of enduring in your early 20s later. Killer Vision picks up on the lonely redhead, and she's attacked by not Jason. Oh, man. I'm watching the scene, and they're like in the tent. There is like a very thin mylar sheen between her and these people that are like about to bang. I'm like, this is some early 20s shit. Like, you can only do this kind of stuff in your early 20s. Like, you can only endure this level of debauchery when you're like, yeah, I'm cool and young and I can hear you smashing each other.
Yeah, not me, man. I would just be like, no. Go home. I'm going to tell your mom. You should be ashamed of yourself. Knock it off.
Meanwhile, in the tent, sex stuff, pee stuff, but not sex pee stuff.
I want to say really quick, that was the only truth to this whole movie. When she was like, they're about to do it, and she's like, I gotta pee. I'm like, oh, there's some truth to this art.
Invariably true. Absolutely. There's some missing dead bodies in the woods, and more uncomfortable looking sex stuff attracts the sinner slayer, and the teens get got. A mid-coital kill giving a slow nod to the original Friday. And in the version I watched, this must have been the R-rated cut, because in the unrated version, this lady gets split down the middle, and it's like this very detailed, really gory kill. And it like just cut away to her getting a piece of rebar or a spear stuck through her, and the dude getting like supernatural face splattered.
Yeah.
Cut away real fast.
I haven't seen the unrated version. I've only seen this version.
Somewhere off in the distance, Kevin Bacon is saying, "Me too, buddy." Meanwhile, across town, the waitress, I'm sure this lady will turn out to be Jason's long-lost sister or cousin, because that's how Total Hacks write movies, is walking around, big as you please in the dark, in a town with a known slasher killer on the loose. She meets a little puppy boy that better not get fucking killed or I'm turning off this goddamn movie, and is being watched by Kilovision from the woods. When she's jump scared by Bald Sheriff trademark, when she is jump scared by Bald Sheriff trademark, he encourages her about her love life, and then gets picked up by a super horny headscarf lady, and their lust acts like a beacon, drawing the POV killer, who kind of comically closes the door on the lady's head, and it made me laugh out loud when her head got closed in the door, and you just see her little headscarf squish, and she's like, "No!" It was very funny. Jump cut.
I was confused by the relationships going on here. So isn't the sheriff also Jessica's boyfriend?
Not bald sheriff.
Okay, I'm so confused by
Yeah, I
this.
didn't understand.
There's multiple sheriff, cop, FBI agent, detective.
Right, they're interchangeable almost.
And then there's
in real life too.
And then there's some sheriffs that were there but aren't there, but like it feels like the sheriffs multiply because bald sheriff gets killed, and then there's another bald sheriff, and then there's young sheriff, and then like what's happening?
They're like cockroaches. This should have had the warning on it too. They're just coming out of nowhere. Right. Sheriff here, sheriff there.
All these roaches.
Also, the idea possibly that because Creighton Duke was being so creepy to Diana, that the sheriff pretended to be her boyfriend on purpose to try to
I thought that
give her some support and be like, hey, this is my lady, dude, just chill out, just to kind of support her in that moment. Because he was being a fucking gross dude.
That's true.
Because we live in a world that people have to do that for each other. Jump cut to a house labeled Voorhees, as the possessed coroner shows us some fine motor skills that Jason, or the demon inside him, has never before exhibited, as we see bald cop strapped naked to a table where the possessed guy delicately and gingerly shaves him. Has a homoerotic moment with the captive cop, touching his hand gently, and proceeds to feed him a special little breakfast like a special little penguin boy he is, yakking a slimy, foul, worm-like tadpole thing into bald cop's mouth, transferring the demon to a brand new skin suit.
It's so fucking nasty. I hate parasitic stuff. It really grosses me out, and that was just like, no thanks.
Penguin breakfast. It was gross. And I think that was longer as well in the unrated cut.
Yeah, the unrated, I feel like it went on like Seinfeld comically long. Like it was ridiculous.
I think the unrated version is 3 whole minutes longer.
Oh, really?
It's unneeded long. Yeah. But that's I think the whole thing is everyone that's watched that scene has the same feeling, and just making that drawn out is,
no thanks.
You can't be scary. Why not be gross?
Right. One in the basement later is also. Oh
yeah. Where he's like, he virtually has to make out with him to get it in his mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you didn't see that part. Don't watch the unrated version. It's not for nice little gentle boy eyes like you.
I do know. I saw that it said that the director wanted to put in the scene with this nudity with the male because he said he wanted to do he felt that in all the other Friday the 13th there was a lot of female and gratuitous nudity and stuff, so he was like, we need to do it with the dudes too. So that's why this guy's naked in this movie.
Equal rights nudity. Mm-hmm. I like it.
It had to be a gross dude though. He couldn't have a jacked guy. All the ladies have to be these model bodies, and we have bald cop. No, give us Steve. Let Steve turn towards the camera and just smack the inside of his thigh with his wanger or something.
Bald cop's listening to this right now, what's wrong with me?
All bodies are beautiful, even bald cops.
Look you, Zach.
It's a perfect time to mention, though, that this movie is way less exploitative than a lot of the other Friday the 13th movies. In fact, I believe Part 5 was actually directed by a porno director, and that's why it's so sleazy and gross.
That is true. That one is the porn directed one. It's
Which
not
one's
ideal.
That one?
5.
I don't remember which one that one is.
I think out of all of them, 3 is probably my favorite.
Is that the one with Crispin Glover?
Yeah.
Chad, where's the corkscrew? I've never seen any of these movies, but I've watched so many YouTube videos about them.
Really? That's awesome.
I'm a dead fuck. What's a dead fuck? And you're like, I love Crispin Glover. Why don't we get more of it? Get your damn hands off her. Elsewhere, waitress lady, who we have now learned is named Diana, not because the movie told us, but because we had to read her fucking name tag off of her uniform, because this movie sucks, gets a call on the phone from her daughter Jessica, who says she and her new boyfriend are coming to visit with a baby, who I have named Nameless Baby trademark. Because this baby does not get a name. This baby is not the new boyfriend's baby, but Steve's baby, Glasses Guy, who we have not been introduced a name to yet, because this movie is poorly written.
Like hell, you say.
Yeah. After this inelegant shoehorning of new characters, Diana is attacked by the possessed Bald Cop. She caps Bald Cop, but the spirit of the demon J-Man is too strong, and the person she kills gets up and kills. Diana takes a knife to the back, grappling with the possessed killer even at the brink of her death. At the last moment, Glasses Guy comes in, separating the two and getting slammed around for his trouble. Steven, who we've now learned is Glasses Guy's name, defenestrates the Bald Cop, holding a dying Diana in his arms as she mutters something about Jessica and the baby and the truth with her dying breath. Was this supposed to be a reference to Psycho? Was Diana set up to be a final girl like Janet Leigh, only to be a red herring later? I'm not entirely sure, but it certainly feels that way.
I think so. But then they do that like 4 more times.
Right. And Creighton Duke is supposed to be a protagonist, but he isn't. But he's definitely an antagonist because you hate him.
He's like, I'm the final girl.
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna say really gross stuff.
He's like, that's why I was talking about the pink tutu.
Yeah, he's the fit.
Another deputy arrives, seeing Stephen holding the dead Diana in his arms, and well, he cops, because cops are going to cop, and arrests Stephen. The next morning, Jessica, our mid-movie heroine, arrives in town with her nameless baby and her new boyfriend, who I didn't realize until this moment is the documentarian for earlier, because still in 1990 something or other, and a lot of people all look the same. I was like, is that Richard Belzer? No. In the holding cells, Creighton Duke acts like a different type of Duke and ribs Steve, breaking his fingers as he incrementally exposition drops all over Steve's glasses that Diana, of course, was Jason's long-lost sister. As he incrementally breaks Steven's fingers to get him to prove to him that he wants to know this information that bad?
It's to see if he's strong enough, man. It's perfect writing. That's what everyone needs to do to everyone to make sure that they're to make sure that they're up to task.
You lack commitment. Snap. Fuck you. Break all my fingers.
I love the part where he finally is like, okay, break that one then. And he's like, never mind. That's on the house. It's like, I could have did this from the beginning. I could have just said okay.
Creighton Duke informs us that Jason must be reborn from the same bloodline of the Voorhees family, and Jessica and the Nameless Baby trademark are in danger because Jason needs his old body back, because nothing says demon like decomposing lake boy.
My question is, why isn't he going to come back as like healthy, okay Jason? Why is he going to come back as fucked up, decomposing Jason?
Because this movie is dumb.
He comes out as like healthy and like 13, and he's like, look at me, I'm fixed.
This is after Takes Manhattan, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So at the end of Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason gets inundated by New York City biological waste, and all of his evil, gooey Jason bits get dissolved away until he's a little boy again, right? And then he dies? So shouldn't he be at fuck this shit?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
We're having a good time.
We're having a good time.
Stephen, not selling his broken fingers at all for the rest of the movie, bluffs the deputy.
I forgot. I did realize. I never realized that he doesn't react to those broken fingers the rest of the movie.
He full closed fist punches Jason in the face, and he's supposed to have at least 2 broken fingers on that hand.
And they never bring it up again. You're right.
I never realized that.
Because ingesting professional wrestling will help you make better movies, and these people just need to watch more wrestling, and they'd have a better movie.
There
Absolutely.
you go.
Because you gotta sell the spots, brother. He takes the deputy at gunpoint, escaping the cell to try to go protect Jessica and the Nameless Baby trademark. Speaking of Jessica and the Nameless Baby trademark, they arrive at the diner, where the diner lady is extremely hostile to the baby for some reason. Like, this ain't no daycare. This ain't a place for a fucking baby. I'm like, oh my God, lady, Jesus Christ.
I get sometimes kids are a little annoying, but she just straight out the gate. Like, that kid wasn't doing anything.
Right. Wasn't even crying or anything.
Right? Like, she was just like, nah.
Leslie Jordan is a total sweetheart to the baby, though. And when the angry baby-hating diner owner receives a phone call, she quickly changes her mind and assents to Jessica leaving the baby there in the back room. Jessica does, and a sneaky Steve shows up, totally no-selling his broken digits, and finally sees his baby daughter, nameless baby daughter we might add, for the first time. This sweet sentiment is the only thing that convinces the short-order cook to let him go after Jessica and take his car. And go after Jessica, he does.
Can we talk about the box that they set the baby in on top of something? Like
it's just a box of a towel.
It's just sitting on top of like a fucking freezer or something, so it's like barely even stable. And then they just walk away from the baby in a box like it's a cat. Okay, I'll come back.
Yeah. What if you put her too close to the fryer and she starts like wiggling too much? You don't want a fryer baby.
Oh my God, that's the worst part.
That baby is gonna tumble for sure. That's why I was very glad when Steven immediately walked in the room. I was like, cool, because only fools would leave that baby unattended.
None of these people are worthy of being the guardian to this child. Because they're
not
like,
at all.
I'm just gonna leave her in a diner.
There's a part later too where Jason's straight up attacking them, and then she puts the baby down and runs away. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh no! At the old Voorhees house, which we've never seen in 9 movies, Sneaky Steve sneaks through the old house, spying the straight-up Necronomicon from the Evil Dead and the same sacrificial dagger from the Evil Dead. Just, chilling on an end table, as you do, leaving extremely dangerous occult artifacts just laying around. No big deal.
Absolutely.
A sound in the house sends Steven to hiding, where he overhears Jessica's new boyfriend, the smarmy true crime documentarian, saying that he stole Diana's body, and this is all an awful setup just to get ratings for his documentary.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like, where did that heel turn come from? Like, come on.
And then he says that vile thing too, where he's like, "I stole her body, then I went home and I effed her daughter." I was like, "Whoa!"
We don't see, and this is why people don't rate horror movies, because you say shit like that. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to have that line in there.
No,
you could still make him a bad guy, but you don't have to.
He could have just left it at he stole the body. That's bad enough.
Or he could have just banged the body.
Oh,
if you're gonna do that, just make him fuck out.
No, that's
he's already the most despicable human being in the world. Make him a necrophiliac. Come on, it's only one more step, because we can't be disgusting and reprehensible enough.
Gross.
Ugh.
I already needed a shower, but now even more.
Before Steve can confront the bastard documentarian, Bald Cop busts in, delivering yet another penguin breakfast a la demon slug right down the evil reporter's gullet.
I mean, the reporter had it coming.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. That's a worthy villain death right there. Horrified and kind of stuck in the floor, your boy Steve watches as Bald Cop's body does its best RoboCop Toxic Waste Man impression. in a very impressive effects display as his skin runs down his face in thick, burbling rivulets, sloughing off in slime-coated waves, until Bald Cop falls to the floor, struggling to stand as his ruined flesh sticks to the ground in thick, stringy pulls. Skin, muscle, and the bone beneath begin to dissolve alike, and the remaining solid weight of Bald Cop's jaw proves too much for his now gelatinous flesh, staying stuck to the floor as the rest of him pulls up and away and finally falls back down, laying still in a fetid, bubbling pool of his own now liquefied corpse.
Hell yeah.
It was such a sick bit, dude. Let's go!
It's so metal. I was like, ugh. That's probably my favorite death in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your description, though, might even be, I was like, those are words. It's great.
Steve watches on as the smarmy newsman, now possessed by the J-Man, stalks off to find Jessica and the nameless baby trademark. Before he can free himself from his floor prison, Diana's corpse falls down from the closet, further traumatizing and delaying Steve.
They just stole that from the Goonies with Chunk and the body in the freezer.
They just had to make sure that Steve was still delayed because he keeps having to show up too late. So, what do? I'll just drop the body on him. Like, okay. Okay. Hey, surprise corpse.
I would be surprised.
Nice cold hug for everybody.
This is awfully surprising.
Ooh, of course. Ooh. At Diana's house, that in the early 90s she could totally afford on a waitress's earnings, our current reality of late-stage capitalism is truly the most horrific aspect of watching this movie.
Oh, God, reality.
Jessica is taking a shower, of course, when the possessed Rob shows up, jump-scaring her, and going in for a kiss, a mouth slugging, something. Steve comes in at the last moment, beating up Robert and getting Jessica out of there. In the process, running over the possessed Robert several times until Jennifer, you fucking idiot. Until Jessica understandably freaks out and breaks away from Steve, fleeing back to the sheriff's office, totally dropping this poor stunt performer playing Steve on his head in a really gnarly stunt.
Dude, yeah, he almost got ran over, like, legitimately. I was watching that like, holy shit, how did they pull that off? That guy,
yeah,
that was a one-taker for sure.
Yeah, I hope that stunt performer was okay, because that looked like a rough bump to take. Like he like came down on his head, and she was like this close to him. Oh my God.
I specifically looked that up to see if there was any because that didn't look safe. And
right.
I can't find anything on any of the stunt performers or anything.
Damn, because it looks gnarly as hell.
I'm glad that y'all saw that too, because I remember being like, that maybe is a little real.
Yeah,
it was kind of scary. Every time I see stuff like that in a movie, I get like, these stunt performers do not get paid enough for some of them.
Not at all.
You'll hear stories about like, oh, we broke like 4 stunt guys' legs trying to film this scene. I'm like,
dude,
did you pay for their hospital bit? Like, that should be part of your contract, right? If you get injured, the studio just pays for your medical care.
Pays for all of it. Hell yeah.
Probably not.
Those stunt performers are crazy too, because like, not in a bad way. I just mean like crazy dedicated to their work. Because like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Hot Rod, and so many stuntmen broke their fucking ribs, legs, wrists, all this shit, and they wouldn't even tell them until like they were done shooting for the day. Then they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get checked out."
In the Andy Samberg movie?
The Andy Samberg movie, yeah, like that opening shot where he goes off the ramp and then goes over the truck and hits the other ramp and falls. He broke his fucking leg doing that, and he was the only thing they said. He was like, "Did you get the shot?" That's all he cared about, and he made sure they put it in the movie.
Well, stunt performers and wrestlers are very, very, on that same level.
Hell yeah, man!
You just finish the match, get the shot, do what you need to do, and rub some dirt on it. Not that that's safe or not toxic mentality or something, but it's your vocation. People are born to be stunt performers or wrestlers. That's just the way their brains work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not me, but I do enjoy watching it. So
Seconded.
When Jessica tells the steadily increasing number of cops her side of the story back at the police station, a deputy goes to get Steve, and the script attempts a joke where the cop says, "Steve, you just got to come with me," and they fight for a little bit, and Steve, not selling his hand again, is like full punching this cop. The cop goes, "You got to listen to me because I've got a gun," and Steve goes, "Well, I've got a gun," and it's like,
No.
lame.
Again, now that I know that they were going for horror comedy, I can see that more of hey, you're a wise guy. It's rabbit season,
Right.
duck season,
yeah.
rabbit season.
Back at the police station, possessed Rob shows up, killing cops left and right, and tries to mouth slug Jessica. Steve, showing up at the last minute again, blasts possessed Rob, who just keeps getting up again and again, the unstoppable killing machine proving itself, well, unstoppable. Steve and Jessica run, and at the diner, more killing happens as the ragtag group of diner weirdos goes down one after the other as the demonic death machine does its bloody work. But the nameless baby, trademark, is nowhere to be found. Creighton Duke has escaped from jail and has taken the baby to the Voorhees house. Is he supposed to be heroic? Because, bud, that's not how you do heroism. Jessica sees a note that Creighton Ward left in the baby's weird potato box lined with towel that is now, perfectly safe for a child to lay in.
The baby
And
litter
Steve-
box.
She books it to the Voorhees house. Steve sees the note, and he's closely on her heels.
Can we talk about really quick though those kills for the diner people? Because
Sure.
Leslie Jordan gets his face shoved into a fryer, and that was done very fast. But then the one that really interested me was the lady. She gets like punched in the jaw, and it like shoves up into her upper of her mouth or something.
Yeah, I
It was
didn't
really
understand
weird.
what happened.
It was very like Tim Burton looking.
It kind of did look like the shrunken head dudes in Beetlejuice, didn't it?
Yeah, that and it reminded me of Gina Davis's thing that she does
Yeah,
a little big
yeah.
crocodile thing. It was just weird. I wanted to point that out.
You
it
could
was
have had,
a peculiar kill.
you could have had not Jason like King Kong that lady, like just pull her lower jaw off. That would have been kind of cool. But
Yeah.
more diner themed kills, right? Like we have a fryer kill, which
Can you imagine
When
if
I-
Jason rang the bell after he like did it? Oh my god!
there you go.
Ding.
That's your horror comedy, right?
Yes, that would have been funny. Definitely better than the gun joke.
That's something that somebody like Ash Williams would have done in an Evil Dead movie, like killing all these
Order
deadites,
up.
and then he would have said it in the Bruce Campbell voice and be like, "Yeah, that
Yep.
guy's awesome." Give us a fry grill kill, like make Jason squirt the liquid butter on the fry grill and then fry the guy's face. Give us a spatula through the mouth, right?
Yeah.
I want more diner themed kills. I guess I don't.
Ketchup and mustard through the eyes.
Or the set up the receipt spike. Every diner has the receipt
Oh
spike.
no!
yeah.
Yeah,
Set it up.
those
and then
always
get
scare
somebody-
me to begin with.
Have them take it right through the bottom of the chin, or Jason grabs it and puts it through their ear, or like that's what they try to fight Jason with. Like they spike Jason, he just looks at him.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't have imposing Jason kills because it's not Jason. It's just a guy. It's just a fucking guy.
Jason picks somebody up and throws them in the jukebox, and Michael McDonald starts playing. What a fool believes.
At the Voorhees house, Jessica confronts Creighton Duke, who reveals that all along his dastardly actions have been in pursuit of killing Jason. Creighton Duke is super creepy and sort of threatening, holding Jessica at knife point and the baby at knife point alternately, and you're like, it's this nice. I don't know what. Are we supposed to want him to die? Like,
I thought he
why
was
is
going to
even
cut the
here?
baby.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to straight up be like, "I need your baby's blood."
Yeah, I was 100% sure that's what was going to happen.
And then he's like, "Give me 2 minutes." I'm like, "With the baby and the knife?"
Oh
What's
God,
happening?
no. He says, if you want to keep your nameless baby out of danger, you will fight Jason with this, our +2 magical short sword of plot convenience that only turns into a magical short sword of plot convenience after he gives it to her. Like it's just a normal knife. Where did he get this knife? How does he know about this knife? What's the lore behind the knife? Was the Voorhees family in a cult? Was the cult battled by like a crew of monster hunters who had to know this lore for later? You don't know because nothing fucking makes sense. And and the knife goes from knife to slightly longer knife with a fuller in it, which means it's a sword, I guess.
I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was a fan theory or what, but it probably is, where it said that after he died, uh, his mom used the Necronomicon to bring him back. So he's technically a deadite, and that's why that knife works on him. That's what I heard. But it could just be a fan theory. I don't know. Makes it more interesting, right? I guess.
That's definitely just a fan theory because I don't think these guys were thinking that hard.
No
They're
problem.
probably just like, oh yeah, let's just look. It's an Necronomicon. You fucking
I feel like this movie is a lot like sometimes trauma in your life. You try to make it make sense, but it's just bad. You know, like
yeah.
bad things happen. This movie just happened, and it's
You just got to kind of accept it and try to do better.
Right. You don't need to make sense of it. It's okay.
They should definitely use that for like a tagline for the movie. It's like, just compare it to your trauma.
Yeah. Just compare it to your trauma. Oh, that's wonderful. Maybe compared to like the little fourth grade me that saw this movie, that was the like earliest, probably easiest traumatic time in my life. So it's like cool,
It adds up.
Yeah, you're like, maybe Jason wasn't that bad. Going to hell isn't that bad. It's going to Rolling Hills Church. That's the problem.
Hell yeah.
Across town at the diner, Kilovision happens, and someone gets mouthwormed by the demon. We don't see who it is yet, so I'm not sure why that needed to be. At the Voorhees house, which has never, again, been a thing until this movie, relevant location to any of the mythos of Camp Crystal Lake or anything. Creighton Duke falls down into a completely out of nowhere spike trap, implying that the Voorhees family was into the occult or apparently just big fans of Easter eggs, as below in the basement we see Diana's body laying by a crate labeled Arctic Expedition, care of last name Carpenter. At this, I roll my eyes. It's like, why though? As Jessica tries to help Creighton Duke out of the overly convenient spike trap, a creepy sheriff shows up. One of a rotating cast of alternately numbered sheriffs that like kind of appear and disappear out of the movie that makes no sense. And this sheriff distracts Jessica, dropping Duke onto the spike trap and taking him out of action. He takes a pretty nice and gnarly wound through one of his thighs.
This is like the second iteration, though, in this movie where someone gets messed up with rebarb. Like, there's the part where they're in the diner and one of the waitresses just picks up a random piece of rebarb and spears Jason with it. And now you got this with the I don't this town must like make rebarb or something.
That's Crystal Lake's #1 export. They have a lake, murder, and rebarb. Where's the spike? Why do we have a spike trap? Even if we are in the occult, even if we are part of a long lineage of occultic practitioners, why is there a spike trap in our home? Does that indicate that they're serial killer family? Does that indicate that like if anybody comes to your house to invade you, you have to trick them somehow in a very specific spot on your floor to drop them in the spike trap? Like you're like, oh, why don't you stand over here and threaten me with a gun? Slightly to the left, a little bit more, ha ha, bitch, and they fall in the spike trap. Like,
I'm willing to wager that Jason did it when he came back. And he's like, I'm going to set this up if anyone comes to my house.
Using his wildly oscillating amount of fine motor skills that he displays at any given time in the franchise. Going from only capable of, like, chopping people with a machete to being able to strap a man's head until his eyeballs pop out, and
Yeah.
to like being able to very delicately shave a man and give him a little mouth loving.
And then we find out that all of these kills have been accidental, and it's just Jason's been trying to make a friend. It's like a Frankenstein situation.
He just has very, very like stumbly hands. Like,
If
I
we just
can't really
hang
touch anything.
after each kill, if we just hang on to that scene for a couple more seconds, we see him like drop his shoulders and hang his head, and he's like, "Oh,
It happened again."
no friends for JJ."
While impaled in the spike pit, Creighton Duke implores Jessica to kill the now two sheriffs. Dear God, they're multiplying. Kill them with fire, by God. Jessica, being a decent human being, says she can't kill them, but she has to live. At that precise moment, your boy Steve runs in, eager to save the woman he loves, lady he banged once, the mother of his nameless baby. There, the relationship is flexible, and he machete chops off the deputy's head, releasing a squealing baby demon monster that sounds so similar to the nameless baby that I couldn't tell who was screaming at which time.
I mean, the
The
baby
rubber,
probably too. The baby's probably fucking terrified.
Yeah.
oh shit! And this baby, like for the rest of their life, just has a completely uncontrollable fear of sheriff deputies, and they don't know why.
And worms.
And worms, and men in glasses.
And then sometimes it's like, Mom, remember that? Did something happen with a worm or something, Mom? Because I can't stand those.
Then the mom's like, "Don't worry about it, honey. Don't worry about it at all." Anytime she tries to read the kid the very hungry caterpillar, the kid's just like, "Fuck you!"
Smacks the book out of her hand.
The rubbery revenant attacks your boy Steve, and they both do the old man wrestles with puppet bit as Jessica helps Creighton Duke out of the spike trap. As Steve sheds his wobbly, shrieking attacker, he finally chucks it down the hatch into the basement. Our three protagonists, cardboard standees, dry toast-ass characters, ? Collect themselves. Your boy Steve asks if the rebirth of the J-Man has to be done through a living woman, as we see the demon baby Jason rush towards the corpse of Diana laying on the floor. And then it conveniently cuts away, almost as if censorship happened. And at this point is the only time I will ever thank someone for violating someone's First Amendment rights, because I did not need to see what happened next. The demon baby crawls inside the dead corpse of Diana and then promptly is born out as a fully grown man crawling from the birth canal of this woman. And it is jarring and horrible, and there are some things that should be taken out. I don't think we needed to see that. It was actually added, I think, for time, or like they added it and then had to cut it. There was something weird about what happened there. They added it on purpose because they needed more weird exploitation shit. I'm not sure. It was a Sean Cunningham thing that he added, and he just doesn't seem like the most savory guy, because that's not something you do to be respectful to people, I guess. It's kind of gross. Above, the three companions listen on as groaning, squelching, and squealing sounds from below. And finally, the actual attraction of the entire series shows up as Jason whole-ass jumps through the floor.
Like Michael Jackson during the Super Bowl halftime show.
You see if Jason just starts moonwalking across the floor.
With rebarb in hand.
Yeah, he's like, she's just a girl. Set high in the world.
Oh, I thought you were doing Michael McDonald again for a second.
I was trying to think of machete puns to shoehorn into Michael Jackson lyrics, but I can't.
That's okay.
Action happens. Steve takes damage. Jessica takes damage. The J-Man tanks until finally the +2 sword of slaying gets planted in the unstoppable killer's chest. This final thrust of a magical weapon activates lights from heaven, and spooky, ooky rubber demon hands drive up through the ground, pulling the J-Man down, giving him the Justin Long treatment, dragging him to hell. As Steve gets grabbed by Jason at the last minute, being pulled down himself, as Jessica has to struggle to save the man that she now realizes she loves, even though she didn't ever want him to meet her daughter.
Hold on. You got to mention that she
Yeah.
watches this start to happen for far too long. She just stares at him getting pulled down for a couple seconds to the point where I'm like, is she too far away? And she's like, well, this is over. And then she gets up and she's like, I'll help you.
Oh, she saw she was going to be able to dodge a bullet because Steve's a dickhead. She should just let his ass get dragged to hell too. And Jessica barely saves Steve as Jason gets pulled finally to hell, and we get our eponymous moment of the movie where Jason goes to hell, and it's like, oh, but when you go to hell, when you tell me that Jason goes to hell, you think that hell's going to be a location in the movie.
Right.
You know, like it should have been Jason versus Satan in the bowels of the seventh circle or something like that. You know what I mean?
Jason makes a friend. That's really what was happening.
Sure.
He was just going around sharing his worm, you know?
That kind of thing could get a man in a lot of trouble, you know?
Steve and Jessica stumble away into the night. I don't know what happened to Creighton Duke. Did he die?
I'm not sure. I thought he did.
But as the sun rises over the now victorious couple, they stomp away into the distance, completely forgetting that their nameless baby is still somewhere in the Voorhees house.
Yeah, right. I was watching them walk away into the sunset. I'm like, are they holding the baby? They got their arm around each other,
Right.
but I'm not seeing a swaddle or anything.
Right, like what's happening? What did you guys like? Who wrote this? They wrote it in one weekend, and they had so much cocaine that they were just like vibrating through the floor, and they couldn't remember their plot threads or something. And then we get the money shot moment, the thing that sparked rumors for decades afterwards. What, it was 14 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
14 years,
where we see the wind reveal Jason's mask laying in the dust from where he'd been pulled into the earth, the depths of hell itself. And one very distinctive, very familiar clawed hand reaches forward out of the ground, grabs Jason's way too rubbery mask to have sustained that much damage throughout the franchise, by the way, and drags it down to hell with a very familiar cackle. As we see the arm of Freddy Krueger, yes. One John Frederick P. Krueger pull Jason's mask down into hell. And that sparked all these rumors about Freddy versus Jason and I think this movie was actually made so New Line could keep the rights to Jason so they could do Freddy versus Jason. If I remember.
I've heard that that whole movie was just a bridge so New Line could get rights to them because Max or whatever was fighting for years. Or I don't really know why that movie was made, but I do know we got such glorious things as a good face fry scene and the hot dog and the tutu line.
Sure. Immortal dialogue that will never die.
I'd like to put to you, Zach, you said millions of times unnamed baby trademark. That baby did have a name, and it was Ray of fucking Sunshine.
Is that what it says in the script?
No, but that's what that lady at the diner kept calling it.
That little ray of sunshine.
That ray of fucking sunshine ain't going nowhere with you.
Even though she hated that baby 5 seconds earlier, like,
I mean, sometimes you hate babies, but it doesn't mean you want the baby to go with Jason.
Right. You don't want the baby to die. You just don't want to be around the baby sometimes.
It's like you don't want someone to starve, but they don't have to sit at your table. It's
Sure.
You realize how fast her tune changed when they said Steve got out? She changed her mind. She did the right thing.
Steve is red fucking flag city, dude. Like, I don't know. Keep that poor baby away. So, that's our film.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for that amazing script, sir. It was a wonderful time talking about that.
I'm sorry it went downhill at the end because I actually didn't finish it. I just had to improvise like the last 5 bits.
That
I
didn't
probably
sound
missed a bunch of
improvised,
stuff.
sure.
It did not. And I am sorry I made you watch that movie if that was your first time.
I didn't. I actually enjoy. I like the practical effects elements of things. That I feel like that
Yeah.
whole bit with Bald Cop melting was well worth having to sit through this movie.
Yeah.
It was so good. Where his cheek stuck to the ground when he got up, and then
And his
the
jaw.
the jaw was so perfect. Did
There
Greg
are some
Nicotero do
good
the
things
effects
and
on
bad.
this?
Oh, K&D did the effects for this movie.
I think I heard that Greg Nicotero did it. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
Because if he did, that makes a lot of sense, especially the melting effect.
Yeah.
Sure. But like, thank you for sharing this with us. Like, I love the lore that like this is the movie you wanted to watch so bad, and then
Yes.
this is what you got. And I was like, ah.
But
Oh,
isn't
no.
that so funny? Is the things that we like? I have another great instance is in the movie Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. There is the large Marge scene. Do you guys know that?
Absolutely.
My mother was just sure that would terrify me if I saw. So I had to look away during that part of the movie, which it's cartoony and silly. I don't know what the theory, but that made me want to watch that part of the movie so much more.
Right.
And then I remember watching it and I literally laughed out loud. And I was like, why does my mom try to protect me from things that aren't cool? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just like, oh, thanks. I then started to kind of realize that my parents just don't really know what was, what.
Right.
So, fine if, we, like you said, sneak over to someone else's house and watch movies that you want to watch.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because this one was built up that it was going to be epic. And it was not.
It was epically disappointing.
I do remember texting my mom being like, I finally watched that movie. You remember that poster? And she goes, was it bad? And I'm like, it was awful.
So
that's so awesome.
I know, Donovan, you're a parent. Hannah, you're a parent as well, right?
Yes, I have 2 kids.
As parents, how do you feel about this movie and like age ranges to be able to introduce something like this to your kid? Because I could understand how you would want to maybe say, hey, let's wait a little bit. If you really want to see it, we can watch it together or something. How do you feel about that?
So little lore of my life, I was married to a pastor and we were very adamant in church. And I felt like some of the Bible stories that we were being read as kids were just as graphic and or violent as anything that would be on a kill countdown on a YouTube video. Right. So when my son, Indiana, he saw The Mask. We're big St. Louis Blues fans. He saw a spooky mask holding a machete. He is enamored. Same, like, I mean, the feelings I had as a kid, like, look how cool that is. And instead of making it creepy and wrong and then making them want it more, I let him watch them on YouTube, like the kill count. And I remember somebody at church being like mortified that I would let him watch a YouTube video. And at the time I wrote for a blog and I wrote about that. I was like, I saw that lady's children out playing Abraham and Isaac. And I don't understand how a little Bernie cut, is totally cool, but we can't, like, this is just, that's weird. And that's where
it's very weird.
That's so weird, dude.
And I remember she was really adamant about, like, Star Wars was something she was angry about too. And so I remember saying that, it was like, your kid is going to play sacrificing a child while my kid pretends he has a land speeder. Which one is the weird one? Like.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And every week in church, we talk about being bathed in blood.
If we are going to sing we're drinking the blood of Jesus and we're washing blood, if we've got to see a dude crucified on a cross, if that stuff is going to be inundated in my children, then I didn't see what the harm in letting them see the fun kills of Freddy and Jason and all the slashers. So he watched a lot of those. I think they're called like Kill Count. And he had not seen a movie until he was in his like teen or his middle school. And his first thing, or no, I guess he would have been late elementary school. He went to a friend's house and watched it. And he came back and he's like, "There's just so many boobs."
Well, yeah. I was just going to mention, like, having him watch the kill count video is so much better because a lot of the exploitation elements are pointed at, and James A. Janice will say, this is really gross, and, you know, this stuff is kind of a part of these 80s movies, and you're not exposing the kid to normalizing just, like, objectifying women's bodies or, like, the exploitation elements. It's just like, hey, look at the cool part of this. That's the actual difficult craft element of the movie that requires artistry and execution. Like, you're showing them the art of making a movie instead of being like, oh, I'm watching Jason because I want to see boobies. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we were in theater, so like they saw blood packs and things like that. Like, so to know those things, and to this day, Jason is my son's favorite character, like of a slasher. And I did leave the pastor. I've been remarried. I got married on Friday the 13th.
Hell yeah.
We threw blood packs at each other instead of rice. Mostly because we met making scary stuff together, and that is how our friendship and love grew. And having your friends and family throw blood on you is really wonderful. And
sick.
we did after that. We went on a haunted float trip where Jason Voorhees did chase us under the moonlight. It was very romantic. Highly recommend it. If you're in Waynesville, Missouri, you should go to their Ruby's Landing.
Wonderful.
That's where we got married.
Awesome.
I love that so much.
Yeah. I have a question though for you. Now we are all removed from the church, and there isn't that everything is the devil. What are things that you now see that were evil, the worst, sort of like your parents preached against, and now you just look at it and you're like, that was the least scariest thing. That's the word, not at all what it was.
Oh man, I can answer that right away, and I could tell you, my son, my oldest, is trans, and that whole experience was vilified growing up, like hardcore. Like they're evil. It's all about sex. It's disgusting behavior, all that stuff. So and it starts with how they act with gay people and stuff like that, and everything else just gets worse and worse. Basically, it spider webs into just monstrosity of fucking hate, and it's been the most easy thing I've ever had to do is to love my son and to be there for him and like understand who he is as a person. It's been the easiest fucking thing for me. And I find myself getting emotional and angry sometimes because of like how much we were taught, like, this is evil. This is so evil. It's the worst thing that a person could do is be this. Yeah. And it's just been a beautiful and easy experience. So that's my answer for that.
No, that's beautiful.
I can't think of anything else, honestly, where I've been like, because I can say other things too, where I'm just like pentagrams. I see a pentagram and I'm like, that's pretty fucking metal, but that's got to be it for me. And I thank you for asking that because it actually puts it into a different perspective for me. And I don't really think about it that way a lot. And I thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, I was thinking about it because you mentioned the Fern Gully thing at the beginning of this, and I remember talking about the planet, caring about your planet was evil. Like we didn't, they called it New Age if you gave a shit about the ozone. And like, it's so weird is that now, what a weird thing to be angry about, like you're mad because I want to not use plastics. Like, what? Okay. It's so odd. The things that were vilified as children and were told that it was so awful. And then
Yeah.
you're like, actually,
Right.
what's awful is y'all.
Right. The projection is so fucking
Right.
that's been the wildest thing for me to see from the outside now that I've left all that and deconstructed more and stuff is the projection is staggering. It's insane. What about you, Zach? Do you got an answer for that question?
Oh, mine's gonna be dumb and superfluous.
It's
Like
not
you
dumb.
had such a poignant, like effective, like really beautiful point, and mine's dumb.
Oh, I
So
doubt it's
just
dumb.
moving on.
No, I think that it's like a question that does have a lot of layers. Some of them
Hmm.
are going to be really deep and have that, and then some of them are going to be fern gully. You know,
Yeah.
it's the kind of depending on what your experience was. But the thing is, being we're at a place now where we're away from that. We can see those things,
Oh
and just
yeah.
it's really, I don't know, I say this a lot, leaving the church was the best thing I ever did for myself. Leaving my children's father was the best thing I ever did for them, getting them out of that situation.
Hmm.
But leaving the church was the best thing I ever did for myself. And I will tell anybody all day, every day, that if they are hurting and they are feeling like they're not worth something, or they're just struggling with life because it's lifelike, my first question is, are you a church? Because you probably should.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what the, being raised to think you're worthless without someone else's
The rags, you said that.
permission
That
is.
filthy rags. Oh, how
I
many
think,
times do we hear that?
right. I remember the Sunday school teachers would do object lessons all the time in Sunday school. And one of those object lessons was if you're not on fire for God, he will spit you out of his mouth and straight into hell. And the illustration was she's like, I love coffee, right? What's better than a good hot cup of coffee? Nothing. She takes a sip of her coffee and she spit the coffee out onto the stage. And she's like, this is what happens to sinners. This is what happens to people that are at half measures and not on fire for God. And like in front of like elementary school children, just like he will spit you out of his mouth. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to be chasing the approval of something. If God, this creature that we're supposed to believe created the universe, cares about us, why doesn't he care about us without us having to come on our knees emotionally through broken glass emotionally to say, hey, I suck, please help me not suck? It's just gross to me.
It's
um,
like, as parents, I don't want my kid to have to grovel or hurt before they come to me. If you're
Absolutely not.
No.
struggling, talk to me. That's all I
Yeah.
need. And it, I now look at my relationship with the Lord was really more abusive than my relationship with my abusive ex-husband. It was just full of manipulation and gaslight talking points that I was led to believe were truth. And when you
Yeah.
get out, you can see that, but
Yeah,
you got to get out.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's tough.
To the question, I think one of two things. First of all, like anything referencing magic, anything that is like imaginative is evil. It wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much in our house because like we were very much like a storytelling, like we were very into like fiction and storytelling and stuff. But like anything with magic was a no go. We were allowed to watch Star Trek all day, even though Star Trek is very antithetical to a Christian worldview. But that's for a different episode. Um, and, but like anything with magic, anything at all. I like my dad. One of the earliest books he ever read to me, and I think the church that they went to indoctrinated them very, very strongly into this stuff. One of the first books he ever read to me was The Hobbit, and then because I can remember him saying those opening lines to me, and then never again after that until like I had post graduated high school would anything magical be let in the house, and none of that stuff's scary. Harry Potter
No.
isn't scary. The only thing scary about Harry Potter is that J.K. Rowling's a dirty fucking rotten transphobe who wants to erase everything, and like hate people.
Hmm.
The anything at Dungeons and Dragons is not scary. There's nothing scary about it. There's no demons in your books that's going to make your books scream when you burn them for Jeebus or whatever. But the really big one is the politicization and like the polarization of just ideas and empathy. My dad, famous authoritarian Christian man, would not let one of my friends into his home when he was wearing a John Kerry for president shirt when he was running against Bush the second term.
Yeah.
He made him turn this shirt inside out. And it's this just after leaving the church, you really see how utterly weaponized things are politically, and being like, the empathy is not a good thing, like caring about other people, even though
they called it the empathy of sin. Like, what?
Yeah. That's
even
insane.
though the book you have that is supposed to be your guidance, says you need to love everybody. It's part of the thing. It's in the red bit that you're supposed to care the most about, right? But
Jesus is too woke.
That only matters when you're in church, but it doesn't matter when it affects the rest of the country. That stuff is wild to me because I never understood. Like I met my wife, and some things happened. I'm kind of a terrible person, and I ended up getting put out of my mom and dad's house. And I just went like immediately to live with her, and I was kind of thrust into like an entirely new world I had never seen. It's why kids should go to college, not so they can, get a better job, because we all know that's a total lie of capitalism, but like, so you can see a world that isn't the one you were raised in, and especially a church that is a cult. All churches are cults, and we just need to come out and say it. And it needs to be more normalized to say that no matter how many people there are,
death cult.
Really
like being in therapy has taught me one thing, that is Christianity is a death cult. We worship the idea that life is better when we're dead. Mm-hmm. And everything is going to be magically better. None of this matters. Everything is for death. And that's where it gets really, I think, scary, why they don't like magic things, or why they don't want us to have self-reliance, or why even things with creativity are scary to folks who have none. I think that with us thinking on our own, or believing in magic, or believing in the ability of community and all of this, instead of it being, up me in heaven kind of thing, it's me and everybody here, and I'm taking care of people here before I worry about the afterlife.
Right.
And it's getting out of church makes you see that the threat to the church is, if you go anywhere else outside of the church, you realize that there is oneness and goodness and community and kindness, and it's not dictated by who you vote for, or what you drive, or what your pronouns are. It's so fucked up how ugly the church is. It's we're absolutely, the thing that Jesus spoke against is the church. And I don't know how they don't see that. It's maddening.
I think they do, but they just don't want to. They can't admit it, because if they do, then everything is wrong and they're the bad guys, and they will never admit to that. Never.
So much of a death cult, in fact, that we are willing to justify and help perpetuate a goddamn certifiable genocide in order to make our fake shit in our fake fucking book make sense. Okay? This is the same thing as if we were going to go to New York City and bomb the World Trade Center tower so somebody could build an Avengers tower. It's the same shit. It's all comic book bullshit. And you have removed people from land they lived on for thousands of years and now are being systematically murdered. So you can facilitate some end times fake bullshit because it says so in your book that these people should be here so your God can come back so we can all die and be better off in the afterlife.
But you're right that the idea that Christians are so okay with everyone dying because they believe that's what's best for everyone. Mm-hmm. And I saw a mother on the news like just the last week. Her daughter had died of measles because she was vaccinated, but she didn't vaccinate her daughter, and her daughter contracted measles. And she said that the 5-year-old was better off anyway because the world's just gotten so wild and everything. And it was like,
Wow.
that's a death cult. You're so callous about your own child's death to make your weird anti-vax beliefs make sense. That's fucked up. That's a death cult. It's a death cult. That's it.
Like one of the first things we say at a Christian funeral is always like, "Oh, they're with the Lord now. They're in a better place.
Yeah.
They're not
Place.
suffering anymore. They're not suffering anymore." Yeah, life sucks, dude. None of us are here voluntarily. Sorry, like we just need to face up to the fact I didn't ask to fucking be here. I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to have to be chained to a goddamn house for 30 fucking years of my life trying to pay this shit off. I have to pay to live. Everybody has to pay to live because of other people's fucking greed. But that doesn't mean that I should want to die. It means I should want to try to help other people who have to suffer through this shit as well have a little tiny bit of a better time. Let's just try to be nice to each other, I guess. I don't know how that's a sin.
Caring about people who are right here fighting with you. I don't understand how that's such a hurtful concept. Because, like, you saying that, they're like, well, you sound like a communist. Like, I got called. I had some guy in my inbox the other day, and I could just keep scrolling he went off, and it was all because I said something about it was like I enjoyed something because I liked seeing everyone work together.
Sure.
That was what I said. And it was like how it was. Oh, flash mobs. I love flash mobs because I love seeing people work together.
Right.
Sure.
And he then found my name in a comment section from that comment. It was like, you sound like a communist. And like,
Oh my God.
You're crazy. And it was, I mean, he did go to my page, and if you do look, I do sound a little bit like a communist, but you know, like it's just so weird that we're here, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so backwards from what we were taught that was supposed to be good.
Right.
The Christians are not the people I would tell the people where the other people are hiding are now. And Frank rules. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think one thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to the whole death cult perspective of it is that that shit is taught to children pretty hardcore. And like I remember being like 6 or 7 years old, wanting to like questioning why don't I just die now because I want to be with God. And because I didn't understand, but I was constantly told like once you die, you gotta
It's
work.
gonna be so great.
Right. And yeah, it really fucks up your worldview when you're that little, thinking that maybe I should just die, especially if you're living a life full of trauma, because then you're like, I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. And if the only way I can get to the guy that's going to protect me from all of this is to die, then maybe I should. It's really dark, but it's really fucked up. And all of that's also used by a lot of people to take advantage of a lot of people, particularly children.
Yeah, the fact that is how everyone is. It's like you said being young. I remember my first nightmares were the fact that I was going to get left behind because I didn't do something right. I was 5 and I was having night terrors. That's one of my earliest memories.
Yeah,
absolutely
weird. You know,
100%.
I remember having nightmares about my sister not going. Like, I didn't even care about myself. I would start having nightmares about my little sister getting left behind. And then what would she do? You know what I mean? And I remember telling my dad that I was scared and stuff. Now realizing these were full-fledged anxiety attacks, you know. But I would tell him, like, I'm freaking out, I'm so scared. And he would tell me that it was just a spiritual battle because I wasn't believing in God enough. And I needed to pray harder, and then those feelings would go away. And I would get closer to God, and I wouldn't be so astray, and then the devil wouldn't have his hold on me that he had on me at that moment. It's just, kids shouldn't be involved in any of that kind of shit. It's so disgusting and manipulative and abusive. It's fucked.
It is abuse. That is what I can only, the closest thing is to tell kids from the moment that they are able to listen that they are filthy rags and unworthy of love and deserve death, and that when death was going to come for you, it will be better than your life. No, no, the kid.
Dude.
There's no way that is how anyone should have to live, and that we've made it normal. We have a faith office now in the White House.
Oh
The
my
fuck
fucking
is that?
god, dude.
Dude.
Paula White? Are you kidding me? I want to throw up in my own shoes. I'm so angry about that. Like, just the fuck.
You want to talk about a death cult and like being abusive to children? Like, what's one of the big Bible stories we're taught right off the rip is Abraham and Isaac, right? You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I am supposed
Yeah.
to, as a child, completely understand that this man was going to kill his son
Yeah.
for God. He was going to kill his son for God. I was also supposed to accept as a child that my father at any given time should kill me to test his own faith. And when I would wake up screaming and crying in the night and go in and ask my dad, like, hey,
Are you going to kill me?
would you kill me if God told you to? And he takes a pause, takes a serious, long second to answer that question. What does that fucking tell you? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man.
this is what we're raising children into. Like, you are not worth being put above my faith in something I've never seen. But I am not supposed to love you unfucking conditional. I'm supposed to not love my son or daughter or whomever they choose to be because my faith is more important than my love I put into a child that I am personally responsible for not fucking up. Like, it's disgusting beyond anything I can imagine. And I would never want to expose my child to any of that shit.
There was that verse, and it. I mean, I'm still talking about it, but you're supposed to that your love for others should feel like hate towards your love for God.
Jesus.
And I remember being told that, like, how do you feel loved or wanted or confident in anything if you feel that death is going to be the best thing for you? Like, hard not to be suicidal. And I remember dealing with my mental illness as I've gotten older, that there were things you can't say because they will lock you up. And
Yeah.
one of those things very much is like, we celebrate being, like, as Christians, that's like they want to be celebrate being miserable, and suffering is somehow like considered godly.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. And I have finally had to get to the point where, like, even things are so scary now, you are still allowed to have breaks and enjoy things, because that is how they win, is keeping you in terror and panic.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take breaks, and you have to feel something other than that overwhelming panic, because that is how I was raised, was that there's always something coming to get you and you are not safe. And it's just weird now that it's the Christians that are the ones coming after me.
And what better way to take a break from thinking that something's coming to get you at all times than to watch a bunch of horror movies where something's coming to get you and actually vomit a demon into your mouth.
See, my belief and why I like horror movies is because I'm in control of the fear. You know what I mean? I can stop it if I want. I know I'm safe in my own home and stuff, as opposed to like when I was growing up, I was not in control of any of that. So I like it, like gives me this like rush now. You know what I mean? That's why I dig horror movies. But I don't know. Everything that we've been discussing right now has just been, it's stuff that's always heavy on my mind and stuff. And Zach, like what you just said about the whole Abraham and Isaac thing, my father talked about that all the time too, and he made it very clear that if the case was us, if it was me and him, then he would make the choice. He made that very clear many times. So I feel you, brother. And the other one that my parents like to use a lot was the taking your kids to the gate of the city and stoning them if they disobey you. My parents like
I
to
haven't
use,
heard that in
yeah,
forever.
my parents like to use that one a lot, and
The only reason I bring that up is because in the death cult thing, when they talk about things like that, it also just what's the word I'm looking for? It desensitizes you to your death. And it really, really, really fucks up your worldview on all of that. Um, yeah. Sorry, I don't know where to go from there.
Donovan, do you still have that thing set on your soundbar that will totally cleanse every little bit of sadness from us? Just
Uh,
a little bit of dust, a little bit of dust from your man's.
As she rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know who's watching her go. But if who believes,
I was not expecting to get this far into the weeds at this stuff. I'm sorry that we poked at some bad scabs.
No, this is really neat, I think, as testament of how cool horror movies can be.
absolutely.
Is that, to me, nothing is scary as what I've already lived through. And I am in control now of that fear. And horror movies will always be a comfort to me, I think, because fear was probably the first emotion I knew. And it is what I still sometimes think is love. And I really, really enjoy conversations like this, where you can see the benefits of watching a stupid movie. Such a stupid movie.
Oh my God, dude.
And have something in it where it sparks actual dialogue with people that is relevant and is real. So as awful as Jason Goes to Hell, it all left us being thankful that none of us send each other to hell. We don't do that. Hell is not the scariest thing. And it is really, it's so wonderful for my every heart, my mind, everything just to be renewed, knowing that there are folks out there that are just like this, that are fucked up from fear, but have found a way to carry on anyway, and find ways to laugh at it in these moments in between of the panic. And love that.
Well, I feel like that's why we need stories, right? Like
Yes.
the story, the mythology of the Bible, of having to concentrate on all these negative things, of alienating everything. It's like that idea of like not letting your kids watch a certain movie, not letting your kid enjoy stories, or isolating them from things that stories are supposed to. Well, it's art. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Art is supposed to poke us. Art is supposed to either inspire us or hurt us or cause something to happen. And when you alienate people from these stories, you don't get to be inspired. Your only inspiration, your only poking, your only stretching is from this Bible, is from this one narrative. When you have a bunch of narratives, when you can experience a bunch of narratives, it helps you feel things different. You guys are talking about coming through horror films from places of trauma, coming through controlling your fear. That's incredible stuff. When I'm thinking about watching a movie, I'm thinking about watching like something heroic, or a fantasy quest, or Indiana Jones, where the actual fucking fascists lose.
Yeah.
You know, where the Nazis get punched in the face and they die, like where the bad guy actually loses. You know,
yeah,
it's like that stuff is aspirational and it's inspirational. And like you have a world you have to look at and say, hey, the fascists are winning. You know, like all this shit is going on, but you can watch a movie or read a book and see a positive outcome. You can see the killer die at the end of the movie. You're not rooting for the killer, which is what everybody thinks. Like church people think you want Jason to win. I mean, nobody wants Jason or Freddy to win. They want to see how they get defeated by the normal common people. That's what we do. It's just people being people and overcoming extraordinary circumstances without the intervention of an outside force that doesn't care about us.
Absolutely.
And I think that is the stuff that good stories are made of is the people being people and overcoming the bad. And that
Mhm.
is right now everything is absolutely fucked up and terrible. And I named my son Indiana Jones because I do believe wholeheartedly in punching Nazis. And I hate that America has become a modern Nazi regime where
Uh,
the Reich wing is happening. But
yeah.
but I do believe that goodness will always prevail. Like maybe I won't see the end of this Nazi regime, but I know that there are good people everywhere. And right now, it's just the bastards that have the most money that are paying to tell people otherwise.
Right.
I have so much hope for our future. I do, even in this like shitty climate, because of the kids we're raising. I have so
Oh
much
yeah.
hope because of these kids, man. Like they're so smart and they're full of so much love. It's gonna get so much better, and I know that. And just like you said, it may not be in our time when things are perfect or where they need to be, but I know it's gonna get there. Uh, Even though they have the keys right now, they're fucking dying out. They're these people specifically are dying. They're too fucking old. They're not gonna be around much longer, and their ways also are dying out. I know that. It just doesn't feel that way right now.
It does feel a little overwhelming. And I definitely, last couple months since the election, I have kind of removed myself to stockpile goodness that I can,
Hmm.
because we got a long way to go, and
Yeah,
they want you burnt out and overwhelmed with all of the bad news that is constantly happening.
Yep.
So, like,
absolutely.
take time and watch a bad movie, have a snack, and we're going to keep moving forward. Just like Jason Voorhees, you cannot kill these kind of weirdos. We're still going to be here fighting for each other, and I find a lot of hope in that.
And
Absolutely.
Donovan, you got your second confirmation. You'll need one more. You have to give Indiana Jones a second chance.
I will. I just have bad memories with it.
Mm,
That's my real thing.
take back your memory.
I will,
I can
man. I had my main thing I did with my father, who is not a good person. He's in jail for a lot of bad things, but I watched movies with him. It's like the only thing we did. And Indiana Jones, we watched all of them in one day, and I loved them at the time. And now my memory was like tainted of it with him. So I really should try to take it back. I should do that with a lot of movies, like the Rockies. The last time I watched Rocky, I got way too emotional because I did the same thing with him. And I watched the new Creed when that came out, and I'm
Mhm.
watching it, and when Creed gets in the ring, I'm like, if they play Gonna Fly, I'm gonna turn into a piece I'm just gonna melt. I'm gonna cry. And then Gonna Fly starts playing. It's like bam, 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 bam. I was like, oh my God, I turned into a mess, dude. So that's why I haven't watched Indiana Jones because I don't want to cry at Indy punching Nazis.
Mu- We
It's
can watch it
good
for the
though. It's a good
podcast.
cry.
A
Huh?
fucking guy gets his face melted for being a Nazi. Like that's the most cathartic shit you could ever experience in your life.
No,
Hell
I'll
yeah.
definitely give it another shot. And if it's good enough to name your kid after, most definitely.
It's he for a while was going by his middle name, and his girlfriend was like, your name is legally Indiana Jones and you're going by your, that's weird, bro. Like, and so he's finally going by it again because when your mom tells you it's cool, it's not cool, but
Absolutely. I get
yeah.
that.
But I always, my daughter's name is Missouri. So we thought we should have the other state.
That's sick.
And that was,
God.
he was going to be named James. And now I can't imagine it being named that because he's just Indiana. But
That's so
I
awesome.
I highly recommend the movie again because it's cathartic to watch a Nazi's face get melted off by their own arrogance.
Hey, Overlord's great for that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen that, the zombie movie, have you seen that?
I have heard that's on my list. I get recommendations from
Oh,
people. Sometimes they're like, Hannah, this is so up your alley. I've been told that one several times. So I need to watch that.
I've been
Okay.
trying to get Zach to watch it too. I don't think he's seen it yet either. And it's just zombie Nazis getting murdered. It's so good.
Well,
That's sounds pretty epic.
didn't you? Yeah, you told me it was because I couldn't find it streaming anywhere for free.
I think it's
for a
on
while.
Tubi now, or Pluto, one of those two.
Damn it! Now I have to watch this movie. Okay.
But thank you so much for coming on here, and I
I've
can't.
had a delightful time. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the script. Going through that movie, hearing you describe it was great.
And we could do that's what I'm saying, Donovan. We could do that for Indiana Jones, and if it helps, I can make way more butt jokes.
You mean do it
Yes.
for the show?
Yeah, do it for the show. You can take back your memories. I can lust over Harrison Ford a little bit.
Let's
You could
do it
have
for.
my son as a special guest.
Oh
Sure.
my God! Right? That'd be so sick.
We
Let's-
won't talk about Indy and Marion's relationship.
Let's
That'll be
do,
for a different discussion.
Let's do Temple of Doom. That's the one I'm most fond of. That's the one I remember the most.
You're most fond of the most racist movie? Okay, Donovan.
Wow!
I see
Thanks
you.
for that, Zach.
You creep.
Here's a bus. Let me just kick you under it.
Temple of Doom is my favorite one as well.
Kalima. I do that all the time. I say that to the kids and like push them around and act like I'm coming after them. Like Kalima. I'm gonna take their hearts. Anyway.
Dude, it's so great when Indy looks at Molaram. He says, "You betrayed Shiva," and Molaram like gets this look in his eyes. He's like, "I did," and then he just falls to his doom and gets torn to death by alligator. Like,
It's such a good series, and I remember watching as a kid. It was very one of those few things that Christians were allowed.
Yeah.
But I love Star Wars and
edifies the
Indiana
worldview.
Jones.
It edifies the worldview because the Ark of the Covenant is that. Me and Donovan has discussed this on previous podcasts. Apparently, if you just mention Jesus or church in your shit,
At least once.
it's okay.
It gets a pass. Yeah.
At least
the
one
fact
time.
that God actually does something in Raiders, sure, that'll make all the Christians like, yeah, that's a great movie because God actually does something in this fictional film that it would never actually happen in real life because God doesn't exist. But Hannah, thank you so much for talking about this silly movie and
Absolutely.
having this wonderful conversation with us.
This has been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much. I love you both. Think you're wonderful. Thanks for having me.
If people
Absolutely.
want to find you, where can they find you if they
I am on TikTok as Hotdog Montana or Duff the Unicorn. Duff the Unicorn is the actual name, but my nickname is Hot Dog. And then same on Instagram. And I run a group on Facebook called This Post is So Boomer. It sent me a dick pic before inviting me to church.
Hell yeah.
You can find me there.
That's so stupid.
Those are my favorite posts I get on my newsfeed now when I'm just scrolling through. Ever since I joined the group, I'm just like, great. This is great because she spends a lot of time calling out assholes and homophobes and racist people, and it's just wonderful because the people, they don't expect to be called out. So when they're called out, they're like, ah!
It is really funny because they don't expect, and I have a clown nose on there, so they're always like, "You're a clown," and you're like, "Yes."
She's like, you got no idea.
But I'm not a racist motherfucker like you. And please, continue on doing what you're doing here. This is so much fun, and it is such a great place to have a conversation about. Is the taking back the things that were told that were so weird and icky and awful, are kind of sometimes icky and awful, but we get to watch them now and experience them and have conversations. So that's so rad. Thanks for letting me be part of that.
Absolutely. And when we finally get around to the original Friday the 13th or the remake, if you want to come back for that, you're more than welcome.
Oh, heck yeah. That is my son's favorite movie. He would totally be down. We could, I think we all have masks. We'll make it a party.
Sick.
So if you, not you, yes you, don't look around. I'm talking to you. If you like what you heard, come back and join us next time. I don't know if it's going to be next week or not. And we're going to talk about another movie, which we have not discussed yet. But it's going to be something similar. So if you want to find either of us, Donovan, where can people find you and your unbelievably wholesome family and adorableness?
I'm on Instagram at _DJDmed_.
You can find me at Z Reynolds Writes on Instagram, and I have another podcast I do with my sister called The Escapist Room, where we do not talk about any of the sads, and we just talk about fun movies where guys get punched in the face.
What's
Give
your
us a
latest one?
That's a good question.
Or what's the
I
one you
do
just
not.
recorded? Or do you not want to announce it yet?
I don't remember. Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 2005. Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love
A delightful, delightful jaunt into silliness.
Love me some Sam Rockwell being some silly guy.
It's insane. He is wild in that movie. If you would like to, it would really help if you dropped us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is now. And if it's funny and it's 5 stars, I'll read it. If it's funny and it's 1 star, or if you're talking a bunch of shit, I'll still read it on the podcast if you want.
Yes, please do.
Because I think it's very funny to read people talking shit. Also, you can drop us a line at JesusStolerMovies@gmail.com. And we'd like to thank the band Mustard Plug for the use of their song Vampire for our theme song. So until next time, and we plan our next heist.
That works.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.